Go ahead, Sheldon.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February 2021 Roundtable, coming to you from our own homes to yours. I'd like to start off this evening by turning over to our District Commissioner, Mr. Jim Fowler, with our safety moment. Jim.
Good evening. Our safety moment this month is hypothermia. A scout is prepared, whether spending time in extremely cold temperatures in winter or cool, damp conditions during the summer. Our bodies can be affected by hypothermia. And if the conditions are right, you and your scouts could find yourselves in a situation where hypothermia is a genuine risk. In some colder climates, conditions can even lead to frostbites. If you learn the warning signs and take precautions ahead of time, you can reduce the risk of hypothermia and keep yourself and your scouts safe and enjoying the outdoor experiences throughout the year. We're going to post a safety moment on the web page that you can go to. It's a BSA safety moment, and there'll be a few things in there you can learn. You can actually learn what hypothermia is, the risk factors, and the care and treatment of the conditions. So take a look at that and enjoy your outdoor experiences. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Definitely learn the signs of hypothermia and treatment. It's not just a winter condition. You can catch hypothermia in the middle of the summer. Be careful out there. All right, this moment I'd like to turn it over to our district chair, Mr. Rick Schober, talk about Friends of Scouting. Thank you, Rick.
All right, thanks, Sheldon. Okay, Friends of Scouting is exactly what it sounds like. Hopefully all of us are friends of scouting. This officially is our push each year to supplement our fundraising for the scouting program. It costs less than $200 a year for the Pennsylvania Dutch Council to provide program for a scout for the year. This includes all of the things that happen behind the scenes to provide that program, to put in place the support that all of us need as unit leaders, taking care of our two camps, Camp Bayshore and Camp Mac. And is really something that we should all consider and encourage the families in our units to consider making a contribution. Certainly not all of us are in a position to give the $191 that it takes to provide the program for the year for a scout, but if we can help in some way, small amounts, whatever we can do to help. Again, last year was a challenging year for us with Friends of Scouting. The pandemic made it difficult for us to do our presentations. And thus far, 2021, we're in a similar position. What we're hoping is that many of you will consider scheduling a presentation for in the spring when the weather gets nicer, and perhaps we can move outdoors for PAC meetings and Court of Honors and so forth, and that you can schedule that. We're also working on putting together a virtual presentation that you may find helpful or you may feel is better suited to your unit. But please, it's important that we get you on a schedule for a presentation. Just contact Jim Fowler or Nikki at the office to put a date on a schedule and let us know if in-person works for you or if you would prefer some sort of virtual presentation to help us put together the right thing for your units. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rick. Next up, to talk to us about what you might know as the Mall Show, but it is actually the 46th Annual Scout Expo, Mrs. Myrna Walker.
Thank you, Sheldon. Coming to you to let you know, we are still having the Scout Expo. It's looking a little different this year. We are doing a virtual version this year. We have 5 troops and 3 packs that are participating this year. We have a lot of them who weren't able to participate because of not being able to meet in time to make a decision about being part of it. I did want to let everybody know that we will be inviting units to take a look at the booth submissions that we will have out there. We will be sending an email out to the leaders because we have a most likes ribbon this year to go along with the nightly ribbons that we typically have during the expo. One of the other things that we are asking for some help, even if you are not part of what is going on as far as the Scout Expo this year, we are having a service project called Operation Gratitude. If you've not heard of that, it is an excellent grassroots organization that is collecting handwritten notes, letters, juice packs, nut packs, a little bit of snack items, things like crossword puzzle books, anything that you could think of like that that would be helpful for someone who is a frontline worker or a soldier could be able to use as part of what's going on for them during their day. If you do want to learn more about it, please feel free to go online and look up Operation Gratitude, and everyone should be getting an email in regard to it with some more information. Otherwise, please stay tuned. We will be having our Scout Expo the 2nd week of February, and I'm hoping to have some of you view what we have had our units that have put something together for the Scout Expo. And next year we're going to be back, be the 47th, and hopefully we'll have more units and more fun, and we'll be able to see everybody in person. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Myrna. All right, next up, I'll share a little bit with you about the upcoming Klondike Derby. As most of you know, we've postponed it twice, but we've got a date set for March 6th at Camp Mac. It is the first Saturday in March, and it will be an in-person event. We're going to do everything that we can with the help of lots of adult leaders like you to have an event just like we've had in years past. Have the Scouts participate, have fun, learn while they go, work on their team building skills, and hopefully just have a whole lot of fun. We thank you again for everybody who's helped in years past, and this year especially, considering some of the little circumstances that we do have to do differently, such as serving lunch to you in a bag before you head out on the trail. Obviously, we want to try to be as safe as possible, so we are encouraging masks and everything else. But we are having an outdoor event in person, and it's going to take all of you adult leaders out there to help us to put it together. So please check the website for, well, first off, Tenderoo has the registration information. Also on the council website under the district activities, Horseshoe Trail District activities. There's the leader's guide, has some contact information. If you are willing to help with some just general, or you don't know where you'd like to fit in, but you're just willing to help, please contact me. We have the Boy Scout, the Scouts BSA program, the traditional sled program. Jim Rank is the person to contact. you're looking to have some of your older scouts or adventurers who wish to participate, they can do the Iron Will. And if you wish to help with that, please contact Mr. Rick Shover. And also, I'm pleased to announce that Mr. Jeff Shark has agreed to run our Weeblos activities, and he is looking for your help as well. So please contact any of us. We always need help with score runners, extra leaders helping with different stations and things like that. So please contact us. Please make sure that you register. The deadline for registering your units is the last Friday in February, which is the 26th. Obviously, if you have any questions, please contact me. You can also contact Nikki as well. And we look forward to your help to have a great program. So thank you very much. This time, I'm substituting to share you just a little bit about the District Pinewood Derby. We are hoping and have a tentative date scheduled for May 8th. Unfortunately, we don't have any other details this time. There's still some logistics and personnel that we are dealing with, but please keep that date open on your calendar. We are looking forward to holding the District Pinewood Derby. As many details as we get, as soon as possible, we will let you know, either through a roundtable or on the district website. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Mike Stanilla to give us an update on the Order of the Arrow. Thank you.
All right, good evening. Just a couple announcements here for the Order of the Arrow. Hopefully every member received their Owl's Nest newest version in the mail in the last week or so. If you haven't, you may want to check to see and make sure that your dues are up to date. I know I've been actually contacted by a couple of people about dues, especially for any of your scouts or scouters that just went through the ordeal in September. They did pay a prorated amount for 2020 as part of their registration, but they do need to pay their full $17 dues for 2021, and that can be done through the council website through Tentaroo. You can also find a link for it by going to the lodge's website, which is wg39.org, and you can find a link there to go pay your dues, and then also for registering with any other events. And of course, speaking of events, coming up in March is our annual lodge banquet. That is Saturday, March 13th, and it will be held at Melhorn Manor in Mount Joy. The registration deadline for that is February 26th. The price is $25 per person. The banquet will begin from 3 to 3:45 with registration and some social time, and then dinner and the program to follow shortly after that. We'll be doing the awards from 2020, awards for this year, and also introducing the vigil class for 2021. A couple other dates coming up down the road. Fellowship will be April 23rd to the 25th at Camp Bayshore. And then the Spring Ordeal is also coming up, and that is going to be at MAC May 14th to May 16th. And of course, it's just like every other event or activity in the last year, this is subject to change. So, keep track of emails, or postings on the council website or on the lodge's website, again, wg39.org. It's also troop election time. We would like to begin elections this month, February 15th specifically. We're supposed to have the new 2021 election forms by then. And so if you have a date that you have in mind, please let me know. You can contact me at my email address, which is S as in Sam, T as in Tom, ANILLA @verizon.net. and let me know what dates work for you, and we'll work on getting a OA election team out to your meeting if you're doing it in person, or we can do it by Zoom. The lodge has a Zoom account that I can use for the election as well. So whichever works for your units, we'll make it happen. All right, I think that's it for this month. Oh, one more, just real quick. We are not having a chapter meeting in March. The adult leaders of the chapter decided to wait another month. I'm sorry, in February. So we are going to shoot for March 4th as our next chapter meeting. Again, meeting at Cockendorfer United Methodist Church on the north side of Lebanon. Hopefully, as we get closer to that, we'll send out an email again with the address and directions and everything. But so no February chapter meeting, and we were going to shoot for March 4th for our next chapter meeting. All right, now that's all.
All right, thanks, Mike. But I did have a question for you. You mentioned that the ordeal weekend is May 14th through 16th. Thought I saw a note that it's actually the 21st to the 23rd. Is that I know it was put into the Alice Nesta's weekend of the 14th, but then I think Eric had mentioned something else. Confirm that.
I will have to confirm that. Yeah, the only thing I have is the 14 to 16. So I'll look for Eric's notes to see if it was changed.
All right. All right. Stay tuned. And if you've gotten an email, please check and make sure we're scheduled for the right weekend. All right. At this point, I'll turn it back to Nikki to talk to us about NYLT.
All right. Thank you, Sheldon. NYLT this year is going to be here sooner than usual. We're actually doing it in June. It's going to be the week of June 13th through 18th, and I will be sending out a flyer about it attached to the next email that I send to all the units. More information, contact Kelly Oshlin. She is the crew advisor. John Oshlin in the office is the staff advisor who works with NYLT. Thank you. Back to you, Sheldon.
All right, thanks. Speaking of leader training, turn it back to Myrna Walker to talk about Wood Badge.
Thank you, Sheldon. Okay, so Wood Badge. Normally, if you've been to Wood Badge, you know it's normally a spring training. This year, it's going to be held in September and October. It's September 10th through the 12th at Bayshore and October 23rd and 24th at MAC. Wood Badge, for those of you who don't know, is an advanced training for adults. Mostly it's scout leaders that go, but you do not have to be a registered leader to go. You can be, you don't have to be a registered leader within a unit to go. You just need to be older than 18, have your appropriate youth protection, and complete your basic training for whatever position you do hold if you hold a position. I wanted to let you know that you don't have to be a new leader to go. You can be a long-time leader. I had spent many years as a leader and had only recently gone to Wood Badge in 2019. I found it to be very enriching, and I'm sure that many of you would find that as well. If you have been to Wood Badge training in the past, you know that it's an excellent source of adult training. And we encourage you to talk to your unit adults that have not been part of Wood Badge. Let them know how good of a program this is, and that it is something that will help them not only in their scout life, but in their work life, in their home life. There's a lot of good resources. If you want more information about it, you can find it on the PA Dutch Council webpage under training. Look for Wood Badge and there's a lot of information there. Or you can visit www.paduc.org PAD woodbadge21.weebly, that's 2 E's.com. The course director is Charles Ulrich. You'll find him to be quite a hoot, make things a lot of fun for you while you're learning some very important lessons. Thank you very much. I hope to see you guys there.
Thank you, Myrna. Yes, as a fellow Wood Badger, I'd like to encourage all of you who have not taken the course to please consider doing that. You're only helping yourself to be a better person, but obviously every person you come in contact with will be a beneficiary. This time I'd like to turn it over to one of our district vice chair, Mr. Jim Stam, to talk to us about the District Award of Merit.
Morning there, Mr. Sheldon. It's our official Wood Badge greeting from an antelope. So, at any rate, back to reality. District Award of Merit, you can nominate somebody who has given service not just to your unit, but to the Horseshoe Trail District. The forms are available through the website, and the deadline for doing this is the end of February. So if you would please consider, or as Bill and I would say, consider the following: nominate somebody to receive this this honor. It's quite a feather in their hat, and they're glad when they find they've been nominated and selected. So if you have further questions, you can contact me at jnbs@ptd.net or Nicole at the office at scouting.org. And that's all I have to say about that. Nikki, if you care to add something, jump right in. All right, I'll shut up and mute myself.
All right. Thanks, Jim. All right. Most of you are familiar with the District Award of Merit. It is the highest honor that can be bestowed upon a volunteer on the district level. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Ben Wahlberg to talk to us about Camp Max Summer Camp.
Thank you, Sheldon. So yeah, summer camp, we're trying to have that again this summer after a bit of a hiatus. First things first, the dates that are scheduled on the council calendar are the dates that we're ultimately still aiming for. Between now and summer, I mean, obviously there's a lot of things in flux. We're at the mindset that we have obviously our plan A, but we might be going down to plan B, plan C, what have you, with whatever guidance we're getting from national or the state or any of those jurisdictions. But right now we're planning on offering all the sessions that are on the calendar right now. So that starts mid-June, wraps up at the end of July. There's a STEM session in there as well. And just like last summer, we're looking at offering a virtual program as well for those scouts that, hey, aren't going to be able to join us in the woods. Our mindset of keeping all of those sessions open, while we know that there are going to be families out there that are hesitant, the idea that, you know, we have a program going all summer, that hopefully none of our sessions are full, and, you know, our campers are going to be relatively spaced out. So that's our game plan as of the beginning of this month. There are going to be some changes though, however, with, again, recommendations that we're getting in terms of our scouts programs. In the last several years, we would split our scouts up into their dens, depending on what rank they are. That's probably not going to be the most feasible for us in terms of being able to know where every scout is and in terms of who they are meeting up with and all of that. So we're going to go and really have the packs travel to each program area together. So you're really seeing the same scouts all the time, pretty much. So that's going to be a bit of a change. Because of that, it's going to be a little trickier for our staff to put on a Tigers program and a Wolf program and a Bear program and a Weevils program there. We want, you know, all the scouts are going to be doing fun stuff together. So we're going to try to be as flexible as we can, but I just want to make everyone pretty clear right up front. there's not going to be as much advancement focus in our program this year. It's really about fun and having fun in camp. So that's what we're going with there. Dining hall, of course, is one that we are really racking our brains over. We're lucky at Camp Mac to have that big open air pavilion, which gives us some breathing room, so to speak. But between our professionals and the professionals that we hire for our food service, we're looking at a lot of different avenues in terms of that. We're looking at cleaning protocols and everything like that. I mean, our primary focus here, yes, we want our scouts to have fun, but obviously have a safe time. So that's really our mindset over the next several months here. I do want to make everyone aware that there are camperships available this year for scouts that it might be a financial hardship to come to camp. So that information should be on the council website. If you applied for a campership last summer, you would have to reapply for this summer as well. This is also the fun time of year where I am doing promotions nonstop. I know many PACs are meeting virtually, which makes mileage a little bit easier on my car for sure. If you are interested in scheduling a camp promotion and giving your PAC a little bit of a discount for a camp visit, please feel free to reach out to me or Dan, who knows how to get a hold of me, honestly, or Nikki. She very much knows how to get a hold of me. Please feel free to do that. I know I have one coming up on Tuesday, but right now my schedule is pretty empty in that regard. Leaders Guide should be coming out in the next several weeks. In fact, I just got word that we have a snow day coming up. So, hey, I might be working on that a bit tomorrow. My final plea would actually be to our Scoutmasters and advisors. For both Camp Mac and I'll say Camp Bayshore as well, we are in desperate need of staff. I've been fortunate to have a great group of young men and women who are willing to go above and beyond to put on a great program for our campers. I know Camp Bayshore has had the same success as well, but with us losing a year, it kind of does lose some of the momentum with keeping staff year after year after year. So I know I'm looking for instructors in general. So if you have scouts who make excellent troop guides or den leaders, or sorry, den chiefs for that matter, highly, and if they love to go camping and they possibly want to get paid for it, please recommend them being on staff at either camp. I know I say it every year, but I started working at Camp Mac in 2003 and I haven't left. Part of that is just the great experience that I have had. And again, I've had great staff that come year after year after year. Because again, you're meeting other great scouts doing really crazy things. And where else do you get paid to go camping? So that, again, information can be found on the council website. And yeah, I think that's all I got. So thank you. Have a great night, and hope to see you this summer.
Thank you, Ben. I know there's a lot of logistics that still need to be taken care of. And as we've learned anything from our past year, we don't know what tomorrow brings. So we plan for the best. And regardless of what happens, we're going to try to put on the best program and have a positive spin on everything that we can. And thank you for the reminder about camp staff, especially, like you said, Scoutmasters. You know, the guys that would be suited to help. So
actually, Sheldon, can I interrupt again? I'm sorry. I know, so obviously we need instructors between the ages of 15 and 18. They're the ones really doing the fun stuff with the scouts. I know for me personally, I do need some adult help as well. Specifically, I'm going to be looking for an aquatics director, someone who needs to be at least the age of 21 and has strong swimming abilities. Oddly enough, kind of needed for, instructor swimming. I probably am going to be looking for someone to be running the BB range. And if I'm looking at the updated standards, that looks like that definitely needs to be someone 21 as well. There are a few other director positions in my other areas that need to be at least 18. So if you have possibly those scouts that have aged out, might be going to college looking for something maybe a little bit different for a summer gig. Again, I can't recommend the job highly enough. I don't know what Camp Bayshore is looking for, but I know both of us are really looking for people right now.
All right, thank you, Ben. Unfortunately, Terry Wade, who is our Bayshore Camp Director, will not be available to share with you this evening. So I'm going to turn it over to Nikki to give us a few updates regarding Scout camping at Bayshore.
All right. Unfortunately, I wasn't given too much notice and too much information about it. I do know that Bayshore, just like Mac, is definitely looking for staff. They also have some adult positions. I just don't know exactly which ones off the top of my head. But staff is wonderful thing to do. My son was looking forward to being it last year as a CIT, and he's actually considering being staff again this year since he couldn't have that opportunity last summer. But other than that, I know that I've had some questions about the Leader's Guide. They are still working on it. Just like Ben said with Camp Mac, there are all sorts of fine details that are still in flux from the state guidelines and the CDC. So as soon as it is ready, it will be sent via email to anybody who has already signed up for summer camp. Other than that, if you have any specific questions about Camp Bayshore, please contact Daniel Hansen at the Scout office. And that's daniel.hansen@scouting.org is his email. And he would be more than happy to help answer all of your questions about summer camp at Bayshore.
All right, thank you, Nikki. Yes, definitely keep your eyes open to your email and to the council website. It is being updated frequently. And obviously, if there's any kind of program changes to anything, you will be notified through those means. Then turn it back to Nikki to share a couple miscellaneous announcements with you.
All right. I don't have too many. I wanted to let you know, since we're talking camp, we've every spring for I don't know how many years, we've had a spring fundraiser to help your scouts afford to get to camp. We've done camp cards for many years running, but the council has decided that we're going to change things up a bit. We're not quite sure what the fundraiser is going to be, but there is going to be a spring fundraiser to help your scouts. It will happen roughly around the same time that the camp card sale typically ran. But we are still figuring out which new product to offer instead of the camp cards. And as soon as the committee has made that decision, we will get information out to all of you. One of the things that I wanted to ask tonight is for each of you, each of your units, if you have a good news story, a scout that did something amazing, an Eagle Scout project, a fundraiser that you did that supported somebody else. I've heard from PAC 460 that they're partnering with one of the elementary schools in their area to do a fund drive for, I believe it's food for those who are on assistance programs through their school. Any of those kinds of stories, please send them to me, as well as to your local media that you typically send them to. I'm trying to work on a district-wide good news newsletter to send out to the community periodically about every other month. I'd like to try to get that out just to help boost the PR, let people know that we still are truly active and truly committed to helping give back to our communities. So if you would please send me your news, that would be really appreciated. And the other thing I'll say is recruitment. When the recharters came in, a lot of units had a lot of scouts that stepped away this year due to the fact that COVID happened. And I'm very sorry to hear that we had so many people that stepped away from scouting, but at the same time, we are kind of at rock bottom number-wise. And without the scouts, without the leaders, there is no scouting. So please check your leads in Be a Scout, update your contact information, send out your information on your various groups that you put information out there about your unit. Get creative. If you're doing a virtual meeting and you want to invite your neighborhood, let them come and visit virtually. Let them see how a pack works. Let them see how your troop works. There are many ways of promoting scouting, and please do your best. And I will be more than happy to help you if you're doing anything in person that you want to invite people to participate in. Thank you. Back to you, Sheldon.
All right, thank you. Our last several presentations, we're just going to wrap up some things here, and I'd like to turn it over to our district commissioner, Mr. Jim Fowler.
Thank you, Sheldon. There are a few things I want to talk about. The first one is, I know everybody knows there's a new Eagle required merit badge coming. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the introduction of the proposed merit badge is being delayed. And that's to allow national, to get some careful considerations and evaluations from feedback. But until further notice, all scouts working on the Eagle Scout rank should continue to use current rank requirements. Once the Eagle required diversity, equity, and inclusion merit badge is introduced, scouts in the process of earning the rank of Eagle will be given adequate time to earn it. And as we get updates, they'll come from national down to council, and council will let us know. And we can go from there. Okay, that's my first one. The second item is the Commissioners College. And this is for my commissioners, plus anybody else that wants to or thinks they're interested in being a commissioner. This year's Commissioners College is going to be held on May the 8th, and it's going to be held at Camp Horseshoe down in Rising Sun, Maryland. So if you're interested, or if you're working on some of your degrees and you want to advance, why, there'll be more information coming out on that as we go. And talking about Eagle Scouts. Have you ever heard of Be the Change? Well, let's all get together and celebrate the first female class of Eagle Scouts. That will be happening on February 21st, 2021 at 8:00 p.m. And it's going to be a virtual meeting. So you have to RSVP on Facebook, but it's Be the Change. And we have one young lady from our district that's going to be part of that. So let's help bring things around and do things to make this a good event for national. So, all right, Sheldon, that's all I have. Thank you. Oh, I do have one more thing. If you've watched this video, make sure you email me your unit number. And my email is jefowler44@gmail.com. Thank you. All right, Sheldon.
All right, thanks, Jim. Yep. We don't have attendance sheets to for you to physically put your name and info on, so that's how we know that you attended, and thank you very much. I'd like to turn it over now for the district chairman's moment, Mr. Rick Shelber.
Okay, thanks again. I'm going to tag on to a couple of things that Nikki mentioned. We have determined that it's very important. It's an important undertaking for us to gather this good news and get that out to the community this year. There's a number of things going on that we're trying to do. This will also help with our community, Friends of Scouting fundraising, and so forth. So please, if you have something good going on in your units, please forward that on to Nikki, forward that on to Jim, or forward it to me, and we'll see that that gets included and we get that sent out on a regular basis. Over the last few years, the message that gets out in the media regarding Scouts has not necessarily been kind to us. And we see this as a means for us to put some of the good news back out there. So it's a really important focus that we want to have as a district this year. Secondly, I'm going to mention a little bit about the membership. And I know many of us, as we rechartered this year, felt the disappointment in our numbers going down, that we felt that we're not retaining at the percentages that we were accustomed to retaining the young people in our units. And yes, it's true. And we've all seen it, I think. We've all experienced it this year. As a matter of fact, as a district, we're down about 26% in youth membership this year. So yes, it cut, and it cut real hard. But there is a silver lining and a bright side to this. And I want to thank all of you as leaders for the work you do to make this program work for the young people in your units, because the PA Dutch Council had the best retention numbers in the Northeast region, and we were number 9 council in the country out of roughly 230 councils nationwide. So even though it really hurts, we are doing something well. And membership is another focus that we as a district intend to focus on this year. We're working on building out a membership committee that has been dormant for some period of time. And there's a couple of areas that we will certainly put our attentions to, and that's in some cases where some units may have disappeared. We need to focus on building some new units. And then we also want to look at where we can support you as units and as unit leaders, where it certainly is a challenge working through this, all of this lockdown period, this pandemic, and the COVID situation. Hopefully, I believe we'll be moving out of it as we approach summer, but that is still a number of months off. And I know some of us, our charter organizations are not allowing us to have in-person meetings at this point. Some of us have met in person and then went back to virtual. And so I really appreciate and thank all of you for your adaptiveness and everything you're doing to keep this fantastic program of scouting coming out to the young boys and girls, the young men and women. But please be aware that you're not by yourself in having your number of your youth drop off this year. It's something that we're seeing across the board. It's something we're seeing nationally. And we are working on addressing some things to hopefully help turn those numbers around. So thank you again. I can't say enough how much I appreciate everything all of you adult leaders do for scouting.
Thank you, Ray. This evening, I've got 2 hats on. One hat is as the council commissioner for Roundtables, and to tell you that we really are grateful that you've taken the time to watch and listen to this video. On behalf of all the folks that have been a part of this recording, as you've seen, most of us either have gray or no hair, and we've been around the program a long time. Okay, Rick mentioned that unfortunately, many people that are not familiar with the program, unfortunately, like a lot of the news, doesn't matter what area of life, we hear the negative and not the positive. And unfortunately, the youth that we serve, now I'm putting my Scoutmaster hat on, is a lot of our youth hear a lot of these negative things, and they need to hear the positive. That's where you and I step in. That's where you and I are making a difference. That's where you and I can encourage our scouts, our fellow leaders to continue to be persistent and patient as we go through the changes that our programs have had. My unit has started having virtual in the spring, then in-person outdoors, then in-person indoors for only a few short months, and back to virtual again. And through it all, what I've needed to do, and I encourage each and every one of you to do as well, is to thank everyone that is continuing to be a part of your unit. From the participants right down to each and every person who's a part of your group, troop, crew, or pack. Many of you on this call have been in Scouts for a long, long time. Some of you, this is just the first year and this is a new venture. Thank you for joining us. We know the benefits. That's why we're still here. And the Scouts that we mentor and lead will also benefit from. As a Scoutmaster, I'd like to close with a Scoutmaster moment. For those of you unfamiliar, this is a time when we can either give an encouragement story or a moral story, something to leave our Scouts with as we end the meeting. Here goes. The crowd will take the easy road and follow the path of least resistance. Leaders need to be different. They need to dare to walk where the ground is rough or where the path is unclear. Leaders need to forget about what the crowd may say and pursue the things that they know to be right. Nearly 100 years ago, the poet Edgar Guest wrote these words in a poem called The Few. The easy roads are crowded and the level roads are jammed. The pleasant little rivers with the drifting folks are crammed. But off yonder, where it's rocky, where you get a better view, you will find the ranks are thinning and the travelers are few. Where the going's smooth and pleasant, you will always find the throng. For the many, more's the pity, seem to like to drift along. But the steeps that call for courage and the task that's hard to do, in the end result in glory for the never wavering few. I thank you for being a part of Scouting, for taking the time to stay up to date, and we wish to encourage you to continue to be part of the never wavering few. Thank you and good night.
Night.